everyone, welcome to my channel Notes from the Sewing Room. My name's Becky. Today's video is part 2 of a 2-part video about my September makes. If you haven't seen part 1 already, then please do go back and check that one out after you've watched today's video. I decided to split my video into 2 parts because I've got lots of different things to show you that I've been making in September. So in today's video I've got things to show you that I've made for myself, and I've also got a lovely gift idea as well for Christmas. So I hope you're having a lovely week, whatever you're up to, and you've managed to squeeze in a little bit of sewing or crafting time if that's what you like to do. If you are new to my channel is all about my sewing and craft adventures. So if that's something that does interest you, then please do subscribe to my channel. I'd love that if you did, and hit the like button if you do enjoy watching today's video as well. For those of you that are interested, you can probably see my Labrador Bentley just in the background here. He's having a bit of a snooze in the yellow chair in the background there. I know a few of you do like to see Bentley if you are a regular viewer, so thank you if you are a regular viewer, by the way. I do appreciate you keep coming back to my channel. Also, I know some of you do like to know what I'm wearing, so today I'm wearing a Helen's Closet Gilbert top, and I've made this one with the tie front. So yeah, it's a brilliant pattern. I definitely recommend it. Looks great with a cardigan, looks great with skirts and dresses, and yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. So I definitely recommend the tie front version of this pattern if that is something that you are interested in making. I've got lots of things to show you today, so I shall get on and start off with some of those things. So we might as well start with what's on my mannequin flora just to the side of me. So this is actually another Helen's Closet Gilbert top. So I don't know about you, but I find a pattern that I like and I tend to just make it again and again and again. I seem to get a little bit obsessed with kind of, you know, if I love something, I kind of keep changing it up and seeing how it looks in different fabrics, how it might look with different buttons, and changing perhaps different features about it as I go along. So I made this version that I'm wearing to begin with the tie front. As you can see, it just comes to my waistband there. So I decided for my second version that I would use this cotton lawn fabric that I'd got in my stash. So I really like this fabric. It kind of reminded me of a Liberty type print. It's not Liberty. I bought it from Crafty So-and-So online quite a while ago, maybe last year, maybe even the year before, I can't quite remember. But I just really like how it's got the different kind of floral details on there. As I said, the Gilbert top is a lovely, lovely pattern. Because this is the second version that I made, I decided to, rather than making the tie front version, even though I love it, I wanted to make a different version. So I made the version with the bell sleeves this time. I didn't make the full length bell sleeve. I've actually shortened them slightly just because I prefer more of a 3/4 length arm. So that's, you know, personal preference really. I think perhaps if I made it again, you know, I would be tempted to try the longer sleeve, but for this time I did go for a kind of 3/4 length arm. I used these kind of orangey red buttons that I'd already got in my stash, just because I thought they worked really well with the floral detail, you know, in the pattern. So I will put some pictures up of me wearing the top just so you can see the fit and the fabric in a little bit more detail. I absolutely love the construction of this top. The instructions are brilliant, so it really holds your hand, talks you through every step of the making process, including the burrito method, which means that you kind of fold through the garment to make the shirt look as pretty on the inside as it is on the outside, and you kind of hide all of the raw edges around the inside of the collar, etc. I'd never tried that before, and I was a bit nervous about doing it because I didn't really know if I was going to be able to manage it, if it was going to go okay, if I was going to get confused by it. But actually it was really straightforward, so I've got nothing to worry about at all, and yeah, it's something that I'll definitely use again, even on perhaps other patterns that don't use the burrito method. I think I'll go back to the Helen's Closet pattern tutorial kind of, you know, instructions, and use that to try and construct other shirt projects or shirt dresses in the future as well, because I loved it that much. Rather than making the full length top, because I prefer more of a cropped shirt, I decided to make this second version basically the same length as the version that I'm wearing. So I think this is view B from the pattern, so it is supposed to be slightly longer, but I just shortened it to the length that I wanted it to be. So obviously you can decide what length you want it to be if you are going to have a go at making this pattern. I made the size 6, so the pattern actually has got a really good size variation included, so it goes from a size 0 to a size 30. So I made the size 6 because it seemed to be most in line with my measurements. And you know, I always look at the finished garment measurements to find out, you know, how much ease is involved in the pattern. So the size 6 seemed to be you know, ideal for me, and I'm really pleased with the fit on both of the shirts. So I made this one that I'm wearing in a cotton poplin fabric, and like I say, this is a cotton lawn fabric. So I think if I was to make it again, I would use either of these type of fabrics, because they're both, you know, perfect. I think you could also use a rayon. I think that would be really nice. It is a pattern that's suitable for intermediate sewers, although I think if you were perhaps an advanced beginner, you've made quite a few things before and you were willing to kind of read the instructions and take your time, I think you could also have a go at making this pattern, just because the instructions, like I said, are amazing and just, you know, they're the best that I've seen in a long time. So well done, Helen's Closet, for putting those together. And you know, it's really encouraged me to look at some of your other patterns as well, and you know, check out what Helen's Closet have got to offer in other areas as well. I know that there's the Blackwood cardigan. I've not made that before. I was having a little look on the Helen's Closet website, and yeah, there's quite a few things on there that I'm sure I would love to make. So maybe another time I shall have a go at making those. But I'm sure I shall be baking the Gilbert top again, just because I've enjoyed the process so much. So the next thing that I want to show you is something that I mentioned on one of my plans videos a while ago. So this is the McCalls 7947 pattern. So it's, I'll just hold that up to the camera so you can see it. So it's basically a dress pattern that's got a lovely neckline made using, oh, my chair's gone a little bit funny. It's made using some elastic that basically makes a lovely kind of neck shaping. So you can make this with or without sleeves. There's quite a lot of different variations in here. There's versions A to version D, so they've each got different you know, style details, so you can make them shorter or longer, and I think there's 4 different sleeve variations as well. So I decided to go for the plain sleeve just because I thought that the neckline is so pretty and I wanted that to be like the main feature of my dress. So I'll just hold this up so you can see it. I've made mine in a viscose fabric. I'm going to put some pictures in so you'll see me wearing the dress as well, and you'll get to see the fit, etc. It is so comfortable. I made this during my recent pregnancy, and you know, it was ideal, but it's also ideal now I'm not pregnant. It was slightly on the tight side when I was pregnant. It is a very loose fitting dress, and obviously you could make it in a larger size, but I was wanting to wear this, you know, now basically when I'm not pregnant, so I decided not to make too many size alterations. I made this, just reminding myself, in size small. So according to the size guide on here, that's size 8 to 10, and in terms of the amount of fabric that you'll need, if you were using a fabric that was 60 wide, then you'd need just less than 2 meters of fabric. So yeah, it's, you know, it doesn't take that much fabric really, so it's a nice kind of affordable project to make. So if I just hold that up there, you get to see it. So you'll see this lovely neckline here. So it's a square neckline, which is really on trend at the moment, and you probably can't see, but it's got this kind of elastic detail around the front there. It's finished down the front with a placket, which has got lovely buttons running all the way from top to bottom. I use these kind of orangey red buttons, which I think work perfectly with the fabric. So in terms of the fabric, I bought this from a local shop to me in Nottinghamshire quite a while ago. I think I was planning on making something completely different and then just didn't get around to it basically. So when I was looking for inspiration in my fabric stash of what I could use for this project, I just thought that this worked really nicely. As you can see, it's got the black background there, and we've got these kind of, they're not spots, but they're kind of I don't really know what you call them, just kind of, I suppose you call them different shapes that you've got on here. So there's triangles that are kind of in this orangey, pinky colour, and there's bits of white spots and triangle-y bits on there as well. So, but I really, really like this. I was inspired to make this by Chantel from I Seem So Happy on Instagram. She'd made one, and yeah, just really loved it as soon as I saw it. So I went straight online and ordered myself a copy of this pattern. I think that this would also work really well as a shirt. So I've got that kind of in my mind that I'd like to add onto my to sew list at some point. I think this works really well in a viscose. I think it'd work really nice in a rayon. Probably would work well in maybe a cotton lawn. I don't think you'd probably want to make it in anything too heavy, so perhaps not a heavier weight cotton or a linen or anything like that. Even though I think the neckline would look really nice in perhaps a heavier weight, I think because the dress looks so nice in a more drapey type fabric, I think, you know, you would want some kind of movement in the fabric that you were using. And I like I said, I think that the viscose works really nicely for this. So I would recommend this McCalls pattern. Like I said, it's the 7947 and it's ideal. So yeah, that's a good one to do. The next thing that I wanted to show you is a pattern which I think would be ideal as a Christmas gift for someone, or perhaps someone's birthday. If you've not got a lot of time to make someone a gift, but you do like making something that's a little bit crafty, then this is brilliant. So I've basically made myself an eye mask. So I made this to put into my hospital bag because I thought if I wanted to get some sleep when William was sleeping during the daytime when I was in hospital, that this would be quite good, because as you know, hospitals are quite bright, and you know, I just thought it would be quite nice for me to have this. And I have been using it since I've been home as well, if I have had a nap during the daytime, or you know, if I've gone to bed earlier and my husband was bringing William up, and you know, I've left the lights on just so that it's easy for them coming up. This has been brilliant. So I'm just going to hold this up so you can see. It's a cat design, so it's got these kind of ear bits here. I've just used a plain white elastic for the back, and it's really nice. I'm just going to hold that up to my face so you can see. But yeah, it's brilliant. So it really covers my eyes nicely. This is from the Tilly and the Buttons Make It Simple book. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with this book, but there's lots of different projects in here. But this one is just so super quick to make, and I just absolutely love it. So I've made mine out of a poplin fabric that I had already. So it's two pieces, one for the front, one for the back, and I used some wadding on the inside just to make it nice and comfortable as it sits on my face. But I think that would make an ideal Christmas gift for someone, or a birthday gift, or whatever. I think I'm going to be definitely cutting out some more of those for friends and family, just because it's so speedy, and yeah, I love mine, and I've had quite a lot of use out of it already. Now, the final thing that I wanted to show you today is an Ogden cami dress. So here is my dress. So do forgive me, because it does need ironing, and basically it's just come out of the washing machine. It's just dry. So yeah, I've not ironed it, so but I will get around to iron it at some point, but I didn't think you'd mind. So I'll just hold this up. I will try and take some pictures of me wearing the dress. I haven't actually got any pictures at the moment, but hopefully by the time I upload this video, I will have some pictures of me wearing it. But in terms of the fabric, this is Elisa Comfort fabric, and it's one of her viscose fabrics. I think it's called Cinnamon, the version that I've got here. So as you can see, it's got the cinnamon background, and then we've got these kind of little bits of coloured detail on there as well. It's a lovely fabric to use. I used the Ogden cami pattern for the top, and basically made it into a more of a cropped version. Then I made a gathered skirt to add on here, and I've also made a little belt to pull in the dress as well to make it a little bit more fitted. Again, I wore this during my pregnancy, but I can actually wear this now as well, just because it's kind of loose and just really, really comfortable, to be honest, if you're sitting in the house or if you're going out. I don't know if it'd be really kind of 80s or 90s, but I was thinking about actually wearing a t-shirt underneath it as well. So let me know what you think about that. Do leave me a comment below and let me know your thoughts on wearing a t-shirt under a dress like this. But yeah, I really like it. It's got, you know, the lovely deep back detail that you get on the Ogden cami. I decided to make this in a kind of midi length, which I thought was ideal for summer, and to be honest, it'd be quite good going into the colder months as well. But it was a bit of a kind of punt because I didn't really know if this was going to work or not. But you know, sometimes it's quite good just to kind of imagine something and then make it happen. So I'm quite pleased with this. I managed to get the dress out of 1.5 meters of fabric. I did have to do a little bit of creative cutting. So for the back skirt, I've actually had to cut that in 2, and you can actually see the very edge of the way that the fabric was finished down my back seam here. But you know, it made it that I could actually use the full width of my fabric, and you know, I had no fabric scraps left over. So yeah, this, I definitely recommend making an Ogden cami dress. Perhaps if you are looking to make something that's a little bit different, and you're looking for a kind of project hack. So, but yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that, and hit the like button. I'd also love it if you could leave me a comment below and let me know what you're making at the moment. I love to be inspired by what you're working on, and you know, it gives me ideas for my future projects as well. But I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video, and please tune in next week for another instalment of what I've been up to in terms of my sewing adventures. But until next time, I shall leave it there and say see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.